And we're joined here tonight in the studio by Dr. Mohamed Roshdy, the economic and banking expert. Dr. Roshdy, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Dr. Roshdy, first off, now we are entering the second phase of the Decent Life Initiative, part of many presidential and governmental initiatives that are aiming to alleviate the living standards of the Egyptian citizens, also to meet the social solidarity targets and the sustainable development targets for Egypt 2030. Now, in the midst of all the economic sort of issues, crises taking over or hitting the whole world, not just Egypt, how do you see the importance of such an initiative such as the Decent Life Initiative and the Takaful Karama, the Solidarity and Dignity programs that aim to help citizens sustain a good, decent economic life?
First of all, I would like to send my sincere condolence for Syrian and Turkish nations.
Yes.
And concerning the initiative of Takaful Karama, I would like to highlight a lot of things about it, honestly, which is what's Takaful and Karama and how this serve a lot of people. And in addition to actually one of the most important things that this initiatives aligned with 2030 Egyptian vision. Actually, I would like to start with Takaful and Karama initiative. The budget of Takaful and Karama cash transfer program has hit, as far as I recall, 25 billion. It also serves around 22 million beneficiaries.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the objective of this mainly to have a social protection for the most needy, including females, breadwinners, people with disabilities, elderly, children, and irregular workers, among others. This is one of the most important things, and President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has directed the Social Solidarity Ministry to allocate an exceptional long-term social package for the most needy families. This is one of the most important things I believe that we have to highlight for our audience. And if we go for the next point, which is this is aligned with our 2030 vision, actually Egypt vision. I would like to highlight what's our main points for 2030 Egypt vision, which is it has, as far as I recall, 8 main pillars or main points, which is quality of life. And this is, I believe in my humble opinion, that this is initiative Takaful and Karama is serving this initiatives, equality and inclusion, post-economy, knowledge and innovation, sustainable environment, in addition to governance, peace and security. All of those things, if we focused and analyze it in a different way, we can say that Takaful and Karama has one of the most important things that serve a lot of people, and it helps us to have a strong economy. How can this happen? This through a lot of mega projects and financing a lot of people to have their own business, in addition to help them in a proper way. And if you would like to build a country, in my humble opinion, you have to focus on building people, health, and educate them, in addition to have a sustainable income for them. And they have a lot of initiatives for poor people to have a lot of projects. I can say it's like SMEs, small and medium enterprises. If you finance, this is one of the most important things that a lot of countries worked on it, the microfinance. They are financing a lot of projects, and they are supporting them, and they are following up on them. And those projects, in my humble opinion, will be one day of the most important projects that support our economy and increase our actually exports, which one of the most important things that the presidential leadership is focusing on it. As far as I recall, we have initiative for exports to reach 100 billion
Yes.
non-petroleum exports. If you invested in this category or those people, in my humble opinion, they will build our country in a different way. This is in addition to women empowerment. This is one of the most important things. As you know, if you would like to build a country or to build a nation, you have to invest in women and youth. And actually, we are lucky that our country, the majority of people, like more than 60% are youth. If you empower them, empower women, you will have a different impact. This is in addition to the mega projects that serve a lot of things and help us to bring more FDI.
Yes. Dr. Roshdy, now, all these presidential and governmental initiatives and the public funds, and you've mentioned that Egypt is now having a much more of a macroeconomic vision and strategy to help the Egyptian economy. Now, talking about the financing of all these programs and mega projects, they're basically financed by the government, public and governmental funds, maybe financial aid from friendly and brotherly countries. But what about the private sector as well? Because the government is working on including the private sector in the building of the new Republic of Egypt. And we've seen quite recently as well the inclusion of many private listing of these private sector companies into the Egyptian stock market. How will these sort of listings of the private sector within the stock market and the inclusion and the cooperation with the private sector along with the public sector, how are they helping to boost and really help sustain a good level of Egyptian macroeconomic strategy?
Actually, it's a good question, actually, and it's a compounded question. I would like to divide it into a lot of parts. First of all, we have to start from the first step that the government did to do a lot of mega projects to serve our country in a different way. As far as I recall, one of my international friends, he is following Middle East in a different way, and he analyzes a lot of things. He told me that we have a magic stick here in Egypt. We are doing a lot of things in a different way, and the projects, mega projects, we can finish it within just small period or just a few number of months or something like that. Actually, if we would like to highlight, I would like to start from the economic reform. Actually, Egypt did a lot of things to have a solid economy, and this is the starting point. Starting the devaluation, starting financing mega projects, starting changing the interest rate, the strategic vision for the MPC Monetary Policy Committee to manage a lot of things, and this is positively reflected on us, and changes in a lot of laws to help bringing FDI in a different way, enhancing the competitiveness of Egypt, and as far as I recall, we jumped more than 20 ranks. A lot of things helped us to build our country in a different way. If I would like to take you and our audience through some mega projects that helped us in a different way, I would like to start from the new Suez Canal, the Suez Canal Economic Zone, establishing new cities, the administrative capital, New Ismailia City, the new Alamein, and the new Mansoura City, and El Galala, Port Said city, in addition to the aviation, developing and raising efficiency of many airports, like upgrading the airports, the new airports, Sphinx Airport, 6th of October airports, in addition to the tile operation of capital international airports. We have a lot of mega projects, the Egyptian Museum. We are building one of the largest medical cities in the Middle East, billions military base, nuclear, a lot of things. This is in addition the state policy, and this will apply to your part, which is the private sector role.
Yes.
The state policy, Egypt seeks to attract, as far as I recall, $40 billion investments from private sector. As far as I recall, we will bring 10 billion per year. This is how we can do this. The government will opt from a lot of projects and place a lot of private sector, which be the key supporting the ambitious Egyptian plan that aims to increase exports to reach 100 billion, as I told you and our audience, and this will enhance a lot of things. And if we are working closely, the private sector and the government, we will achieve a lot of great things. And this is, I believe, this is one of the most basically common scenarios in a lot of developed countries that let them do a great things. And this positively, which is focused on changing our GDP structure. As you know, the most important things, the GDP structure consists of three things: service, agriculture, in addition to the industrial part. One of the most important things is that the service, which has the highest value added, and we are focusing on that in addition to technology, and this positively will reflect our GDP growth. And all the international agencies, they are expecting for us a great growth in coming few years. In addition to, they are saying that we are a tiger economy. Do you know what's tiger economy? Which is metaphorically that, like a tiger when jump to get
the prey.
Yeah, actually he is running quickly. Metaphorically, the Egyptian economy will be one of the fastest economies globally in coming few years.
Yes. Well, you've mentioned the importance of focusing on the youth, on the women, and the micro and medium, small and medium enterprises as well. Now, Egypt has launched a new initiative which is called Village Without Poverty, which really focuses on different governorates and villages within the governorates, and it's basically focusing on helping establish micro-sized enterprises. Now, they're aiming to help establish 1,500 micro-enterprises worth £15 million, which is about £10,000 per enterprise. And this is basically working on, it's not a national mega project, but it's a national initiative, and they're working on the SMEs. However, they're working on the SMEs in a mega project kind of manner, that they're targeting all these 1,500 enterprises, trying to boost them, finance them, £10,000 each. So this vision is that the government is not just waiting to see an investor or an entrepreneur starting their own projects in their own time. No, they're giving an impetus of funding, an injection of £10,000 for each enterprise. How much or how long do you think these enterprises will flourish and start achieving some sort of good domestic profit to boost the Egyptian productivity, and it will help the macroeconomic vision as a whole?
Actually, I would like to start answering your question, which is with one of the most important things. The rationale behind focusing on SMEs, small and medium enterprises or projects. What is the rationale behind that? It comes to top of my mind, actually, that if you would like to have a solid economy or to have investments, ABC investments, you have to diversify your portfolio, or we can say it in a slang language, don't put all eggs in one basket.
Yes.
Actually, this is what we are focusing here in Egypt, actually. We have, if you would like to have a solid economy, for example, to simplify for you and our audience, that if you have, for example, two companies, they are controlling like 90 or 100% of our economy. What will happen? If one of them is defaulted, what will happen? We will lose like 50% of our economy. Yes. But if we have a lot of companies, small and medium, we will have a healthy portfolio, healthy investments, actually. And if one defaulted, another one will support and will positively impact us. This is one of the most important things. I believe in my humble opinion that this is the smartest way to have a healthy economy and solid economy. For that reason, the presidential leadership and the government is focusing to support entrepreneurs in a different way. They are doing a lot of initiatives with lower interest rate than them, because they have actually great ideas. They are innovative. They are actually entrepreneurs, but unfortunately, they don't have the financing, the finance for those projects. For that reason, the government did a lot of initiatives to finance them through CBE, Central Bank of Egypt, and through the Ministry of Finance recently. Those things will help us to, or will serve the strategic vision to achieve Egypt to 2030 vision that we have to enhance our life, our citizen life standards and living standards. And in a nutshell, we can realize this easily, that as far as I recall, the unemployment rate in 2013 reached to 13.4%. Nowadays, it reached to 7.4, 7.5%. Can you imagine? It almost decreased by half.
Yes.
For that reason, this is what we are calling, we are being the fruits of a lot of investments, a lot of mega projects, that we have a clear strategic vision. We are working on it in a smart and different way. All the public sector and the private sector are working closely in a harmony to achieve the new public vision.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, definitely there are many challenges, not just facing the Egyptian citizen, but the citizens all over the world. However, the government is exerting its utmost efforts to provide presidential initiatives, platforms, national mega projects, everything that would help the Egyptian citizen enjoy a decent standard of living. And the Villages Without Poverty initiative is the latest of such a step, along with Takaful Karama, Solidarity and Dignity, also Fursa initiative, the Opportunity initiative, among many others. And we're definitely going to be following up all these initiatives and developmental projects taking place here in Egypt. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this edition of the Daily Debate. Before we go, I'd like to thank my guest, Dr. Mohamed Roshdy, the economic and banking expert. Dr. Roshdy, always a pleasure having you with us on the show.
Thank you, and good evening for you and our audience.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for more coming up on Nile International. I'm Hani Saif. Thank you for joining us.